Good morning.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Deacon Dave. Today, we celebrate the solemnity of Christ the King. When we hear the word King, we immediately think of someone who has significant authority and control over others. Someone who has power and influence over other people. Someone who lived a glorious life. And someone who is worshipped and served by people under his authority. However, our gospel today seems to have a different presentation of what a king looks like. The gospel does not have any royal element at all. Imagine, Jesus was brought before Pilate to be sentenced to death. Wait, I thought Jesus is king. Why were they putting him on trial? Why were they punishing and persecuting him? Shouldn't he be the judge and have the right to sentence someone? Why is he now being sentenced to death? And the saddest part is that the people who should love and serve him are the same people who mocked him and wanted him to be killed. In other words, the king revealed to us in today's gospel is not the one who rules and controls others, is not the one who demands to be worshipped and served, but the one who forgets himself so he can serve others. This is the kind of kingship that Jesus embraced, and as his disciples, we ought to do the same. Tomorrow, November 25th, I will celebrate the 7th anniversary of my priestly ordination. I still remember the feeling I had that day, as if I were floating on a cloud because of the immense grace I received from God. But you know what? Being a priest is a real challenge. In fact, one of the questions the bishop asked us during our ordination is this: do you resolve to be united more closely every day to Christ, the high priest, who offered himself for us to the Father as a pure sacrifice, and with him to consecrate yourself to God for the salvation of all? It is as if the bishop were telling us, are you sure you want to serve God and his church? Are you sure you are willing to suffer for the sake of the gospel? Are you sure you want to serve in times of difficulty? If so, then do not complain if later on you encounter difficulties in your ministry. No one has forced you to be a priest, so stand firm in your decision and be faithful to your vocation. Serve even when you are struggling, because priesthood is all about service. Brothers and sisters, it is easy to serve Jesus our King when life is smooth and free of problems and difficulties. But when life becomes difficult, when things get tough, when problems follow one after another, we no longer want to serve Jesus. We also abandon him like the people in today's gospel. However, Our celebration today reminds us that if Jesus is truly our King, then we must serve Him in all circumstances, whether we are happy or sad, whether we are healthy or sick, whether we are comfortable or not. We must serve Jesus in whatever situation we find ourselves in. Serving Jesus our King is not only the duty of ordained ministers of the church, but also of all lay people. And so the question is, how can you serve Jesus our King as a lay person? The answer is simple. Make the most of the life that God has given you now. That is, if you are a parent now, be a good parent to your children by fulfilling your duties and responsibilities. In that way, you are serving Jesus our King. If you are a married person, be a good and faithful husband or wife to your spouse. That is how you can serve Jesus our King. To all children here today, honor your parents. Obey and listen to their advice. If you have already moved out of your parents' home, do not forget to visit them or call them regularly. They will be happy to hear from you. If you do that, you are serving Jesus our King. Remember this: whatever situation we find ourselves in, that is the best condition to serve Jesus our King. Amen.